every week we're going to be highlighting the new federal state of China and their investigative and observational approach to the black hand of the Chinese Communist Party. Forrest joins us today. Forrest, Los Angeles, the relationship, the CCP is trying to sow discord, chaos, and disunity into the United States of America 24/7. Your thoughts on Los Angeles, the riots, sir?
Absolutely. First of all, this is what they love to see. That's what they want to see for over the years. This is what they call the revolution. They want to destroy the democracy and freedom in this country through the revolution, whereas the free world once want to change the China into a democracy and a freedom country through evolution. But what happens in LA is the revolution started with R, stands for red, I think. The CCP will definitely use LA protest as a golden opportunity to discredit the American and to use that to push the fake news. And they are already using their state-controlled media claiming that American is falling, okay? All their media the coverage is doomed and panic. They will see the people is running with the fear and on the street, all the chaos. They will use this this is a classic CCP psychological warfare, because this is exactly what they used back in 1989 during the Tiananmen Square. They spread the news and lies and to put the public opinion against peaceful students, and then they divided the movement, and then used the false narrative to justify their killing, and they're killing the young innocent people, and they call that a justice. So that's what they are playing right now. They will definitely use this opportunity to attack the American, to spread the disinformation. I hope it's not a bioweapon, because what they will do is, using this chaos, they can attack the American. I think the American people need to stay alert. This is the real threat is from the shadow, from CCP. I think the real danger is not really on the street, it's from the CCP behind. And they are very good at it. They will push the disinformation and make a panic. First of all, they will use this opportunity to push their narrative that the dictatorship, the orderly dictatorship, is better than the democratic and freedom Western country. And also they will use this opportunity to distract the Chinese people with their own trouble inside China. And also they will use that, you can see on all the social media, to pro-CCP and anti-American. That's what they want over the years. So this is really danger from the CCP, and this is a good opportunity for them. They are laughing behind the scene, and I'm sure they will take the advantage of this chaos to push their narrative and to push their unrestricted warfare. So I think American people has to stay vigilant and take the action.
Give me a minute or two. There's been reports earlier on that Gavin Newsom and others in California, in political circles in California, the Democratic Party, are very close to the CCP, because there's been all these questions about the CCP, because we know they funneled money into Midtown Manhattan, but there's a lot of CCP, the wealth of the CCP families plowing into businesses and real estate in California. There was some investigation done that said that Gavin Newsom's very close to certain elements of it. Can you give me a minute or two on that?
Absolutely. I think in this country, we do have Communist Party, that's for sure. And Gavin Newsom is so close to Chinese Communist Party. He visited Beijing, and if you remember, and also when President Xi visited Seattle, I believe he cleaned the streets so quickly, and so he has done a fantastic job just overnight to clean the street, just to please the President Xi Jinping. So absolutely, and also there is a lot of corrupted Chinese officials has their offspring and as their children in California. So absolutely, I think Newsom and some other Democratic, I would call them probably Communist Party, also helping with the Chinese Communist Party. the chaos and the lawless happening on the street. That's what they want to see. This reminded me and reminded Chinese the Cultural Revolution happened back in China. People hit each other, they destroy the public properties, they want to erase the history, hit each other, and attack the innocent people. That's what they do. So I think it's disgraceful for what is happening in LA, but I hope that's not happening in the other city, whether it's Detroit or Chicago or New York. But I think we really have to watch that out. I think there is some dark force, especially the Chinese Communist Party, will utilize this chaos to spread this chaos over the country.
Breaking news, the federal judge did not give a stand down, a restraining order on President Trump. This out of federal court. They're going to be in court to make their arguments on Thursday, but no restraining order. President Trump can keep the troops there. This is a huge win for President Trump, just coming across the wires a few minutes ago. Even as we do this and look at the chaos and the black hand of the Chinese Communist Party in back of it, as they're in back of so many things, you've got a carrier battle group with the new Chinese aircraft carrier going east of the second island chain for the first time ever. We were always told, oh, China can never do that. Well, guess what? The PLA Navy is doing it. In London, a major negotiation of really chips for rare earths. Roy, get us up to speed on what's happening there and the stakes involved. Scott Bessent leading the U.S. team, and of course the Chinese Communist Party has very tough negotiators. What's happening in London?
Talk between the U.S. and China, and our intelligence tells us that CCP is using rare earths for chips, meaning that if the United States give the Chinese Communist Party chips, then the CCP would give rare earths. We all know that rare earths is a very important mineral. That's 90% of the rare earths produced by Chinese Communist Party. And this, I think, is never in the U.S. history has any country has showed this kind of gesture to the world, that telling the world that actually any country can blackmail the U.S. And this is what we call a new Plaza Accord, where the U.S. basically have to listen to Chinese Communist Party and listen to their blackmail. And our intelligence just tell us that this is a very politically, this is blackmail against the United States. And rare earths would not be the only thing that they weaponize. I think first thing, we need to think about the U.S. treasuries and also the U.S. investment in Hong Kong and also in mainland China, and also the supply chain around all the production and processing of the products of the United States and the CCP that's providing. Basically, they're thinking President Trump only has 3.5 years, and they have all the time to blackmail the United States. And also, if you look at the whole world, like basically they're flexing. Xi Jinping thinks this will give a set of gesture that all the other countries can blackmail the United States. This is almost like a Plaza Accord. But the positions shift. Like the U.S. is in the position of Japan right now, and making the case that President Trump, just like we talk about, like how President Trump is begging the Chinese Communist Party to make a deal. And although this is very unfair for Trump is only in office for only like 6 months, and this is a result of almost 50, 60 years. With the appeasement policy and the collusion between the CCP and Wall Street and the Silicon Valley and the colluders inside the United States.
Before I go to Ava, though, in this situation, because we had them over the barrel, we had the leverage with the chips in the chip ban. Did we get caught unawares? Yes, it's been 50 or 60 years, and President Trump almost had the huge deal in the first term. But did we get caught unawares of the auto industry and others' reliance upon the magnets that rare earths are not rare at all, they're just dirt, but the processing of them and processed rare earths using things like magnets are incredibly important in production. Did we get caught up because the CCP has said, they've said 2 or 3 times, oh, yeah, we're going to do it, and they haven't done it. That's why President Trump keeps saying, hey, they don't follow through with what they're going to say in Geneva. Did we get caught unawares, and is that the leverage the CCP has over us, sir?
Yeah, I think this is planned. And as I said, this is kind of like CCP is politically blackmailing the United States, understanding that the United States doesn't have the time to move all the processing and production back into United States. And CCP understands this very well. This is a complete weaponization of the supply chain, just like what happened in 2019 when the trade talks still happening and CCP released a deadly virus and killed 1 million people later. And then they sucked up all the PPEs. And ventilators and masks. And they've already done that before. So that's why we warned the world, we tried to warn the world with the intelligence brought by the CCP insiders, the whistleblowers risking their lives from supporting NFSC, to warn the world that the CCP can never be trusted. They never kept their promises. But we think this is really disastrous. And this is the kind of like the economic Pearl Harbor attack on United States economy, and the United States economy is held hostage by the Chinese Communist Party, and this is very dangerous.
Well, hopefully Scott Besson gets there. The new federal state, Ava, the whole reason that President Trump installed all of the tariffs and even the reciprocity was because the fundamental national emergency about fentanyl coming into the country. When the 3-judge panel looked at it, in their 100-page ruling, or they just kind of took out the emergency on fentanyl and tossed it out like it was nothing. They start talking about trade policy. President Trump called a national emergency about fentanyl. Your thoughts on that, ma'am?
And I will get to the fentanyl, but I want to add something about this trade talks. Because we talked to LA, we talked to trade talks, but the American needs to focusing on the narrative. Okay, this is where the CCP will bring the victory, not because everything they say is true, and actually quite opposite. A lot of the propaganda derived from the truth. There's ounce of truth in it, but they exaggerate it to the point that you could call it fake news. For example, Forrest just mentioned, people right now inside communist China and outside communist China spreading on social media about Americans falling. American is collapsing. The situation is out of control, but we know the situation is under control. Marine was there. I see Ian was there. So why? Why the CCP fanning this all over the world? Not only to domestic audience, but to international audience. And they carefully curated in conjunction with the trade talk. What happened on Trade Talk, May 9th? Where did they go? They went to London. Why did they pick London? Why did they not go to Geneva? They're sending a strong message, which at this moment as we speak, they are spreading on the world social media, which is, okay, London, you're the very first transatlantic ally of the United States, and you decide to sign an agreement with the United States. Shame on you. Look at me. I dare to challenge the United States. I did not sign, and I'm going to show my muscle and project my power in front of the world. Do you need rare earths? Does Britain, you need rare earths? Does European, you need rare earths? Does everywhere, any countries around the world that's in the high-tech business, do you need rare earths? Look at me. I will be able to corner the hegemon of the world for over a century, that's United States, to come to London and force the hand on them. And rare earths is only one of my many cards. I have your treasury bond. I have your trillions of investment in Hong Kong. I have every other critical material you rely on, genetic drugs, from genetic drugs to other stuff that they produce that United States rely on today. So they are sending the message. On May 9th and 10th, guess what happened on May 9th? When they arrived, when He Jianfeng, the Chinese representative, arrived in London, what did he announce in the London Tech Week? They're going to increase investment, 140 million pounds in their TikTok headquarters. What's that? Okay, you have to pay attention to the narrative. So, and think about the effect those effects going to have on the world elite. Not just America, around the world, because right now every country is negotiating with the United States on the so-called Liberation Day of the trade policy. And Chinese government are playing the dirty hands behind the scene. So that is why you have to pay attention to the narratives they're pumping out. One time, on the one side, they say American has fallen. On the other side, they say, I'm stronger. See, even United States needs me, okay? They're willing to come because London is a location that CCP picked deliberate to send a message around the world. And now they're showing their muscles and see, I'm the boss. I'm single-handedly upend the American strategic capitalization strategy that has kept the world running for over a century. Now this whole seismic shift happening. What happened to the CCP? They will be emboldened. That's why Taiwan today become even more dangerous because CCP is now that ever determined to take the chip industry. They already have South Korea. They're going to move on Taiwan because they know the more leverage they have, the safer they are. Because American today, never before, bent its will. And today, they made a huge announcement. This is what the CCP is going to fan out to the entire world. Think about the psychological manipulation. Think about the narratives that go into everybody's heads. And when they come on table and talk to the United States, what would they do? How will this inspire the rest of the world? What about Czech Republic, who has a laser technology? What about the Dutch, Netherlands, who has the EUV machines? What about the rest of the world? Brazil, French, Germany, or Europe Union, they're all going to come to the table to negotiate with the United States. And all of them need rare earth. So this is a message that CCP is sending, and America needs to pay attention. But I want to say the last thing, because I really wanted to, I hope this is not happening, and I want the United States on high alert, because this is the ultimate plan of the fentanyl that's coming, and this is strictly coming from the intel from the NFSC. Don't ever underestimate the level of evilness of the CCP. They had the fentanyl thought out. It's a multi-phased and long-term planning strategic move against the United States. The ultimate goal of the CCP is to bring the destruction of the United States. How do they do that?
United States of America.
As soon as the United States.
Ava, we have to bounce. Where do people go for New Federal State of China? All your content, your show. I'm on every Friday. Where do folks go?
They can go to the Getter at NFSC Speaks. Thank you for following us. Thank you.
Fantastic. What are you talking about? From Los Angeles to London to fentanyl to Hong Kong, all of it. The black hand of the Chinese Communist Party. You don't think you see that in the streets of Los Angeles? Then you don't know what you're looking for. See what you see. The chaos and discord, that is their calling card. President Trump's trying to stop it. He's got the team to stop it. He's got the troops in the field to stop it. Who's going to blink first? The judge has backed us up so far. No temporary restraining order. Troops can stay. They'll be back in court on Thursday. And guess what? They're going to back President Trump's play here. They're going to back his play. He's commander-in-chief, trying to put down an invasion of this nation. 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow morning, back in the war room. We'll kick it off again. See you then.